Good morning, traders from around the globe. How's everyone doing on this fine Friday morning? Sam's in the building from San Diego. What's up, bud? Hope you're doing fantastic, man. Jim Lynch, John P. is back for more. I like it, John. Shaz is from London. What's up, bud? Andrew says hola, which is Spanish for hello. Vincent says good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing phenomenal. It's a fun day in the neighborhood. Alex M says hi-yo. Mike says buenos dias. Bienvenidos, mi amigos. Hope you're all doing phenomenal. Philip says hi from Thailand. What's going on, Philip? Just as a quick update, if you guys all wouldn't mind throwing on your chat pane from all panelists to all panelists and attendees, just so that everyone can make sure that we all want to see your genius. That's what we want to do. Thank you, sir. So you guys ready to get started? Let's start day trading like animals. So as you know, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start looking for gaps, right? That's what we're going to do. And I had a question about this a lot over this week, which is a very fair question, but there's actually a great way to answer this question. I had one trader email me and ask me, how do you find your gaps? Now, I've answered this question a lot of different ways, but here's another way that I forgot to answer. The answer to that question would be hop into the trading rooms with me. Be in the rooms if you want help finding your gaps. Because think about it like this. Think about the trading rooms as your own personal scanner. Think about it as a way for you to go in and get a collective group of traders who do this for a living to look for things for you, right? That's kind of what I think about it. I will be blatantly honest. There are many times where all I do is just pull up Slack. I don't even do any of my own research. And Brad or Latoya or some of the other traders will post some good charts or some good trade setups, and I'll just hop over to a chart. I'll have my broker turned on, and I'll see if I like the trade. And if I like the trade, then I will set it up, and if I don't, I won't. It's really that easy. So that is one very easy answer. So how do you find your gaps? Just join the room. Why not? Get in, be a part of it, and have a group of people help find the gaps for you. Otherwise, you can also use numerous free scanners. Numerous. For example, here's one right here. This scanner is totally free. RM says, so let the community be your scanner. Yeah, why not? Right? If you're going to stress about it, if you're like, I don't know which gaps to find or how to find them or what, I mean, that's okay. Let the community do the work for you. That initially is fine. Over time, what I'm saying is you will learn, right? You'll get an idea of what we look for or what things look well, but initially just let the team do the work for you, right? So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to look to see which gap up or gap down list is the longest. I know Brad's already sent me some gaps. We can go through some of these gap downs because there's not that many. So Starbucks, let me put Intel on the list, INTC. Let's go to Starbucks really quick. While I'm doing that, I'm going to get my broker pulled up on my other computer. Starbucks is gapping down on earnings. 'Tis the season. Earnings season, that is. So again, folks, just so you're comfortable, all I did was pull up this gap chart, right, which is free on the internet. Is everyone tracking that so far? So for my beginner traders, type in a 1 if you got that. All I'm doing is I'm opening this chart, this link, this web page, and I'm selecting either gap up or gap down. That's all I've done so far. And then I just go through this list. This is a pre-market list, folks. Remember, the market is not opened yet. The market is going to open in 25 minutes from now. This is a list of gaps before the market opens. So for those of you who ask, how do you find your gaps? That is the answer right here. Pull up a gap list and just go searching through them. So once you know what stocks are gapping, that's the easy part. You then have to go qualify the gaps to see if it's a good gap or not. And I have so many videos on that, it's unbearable. It would take you more than a week to go through most of them. So the answer is you find a gap and you go qualify it, meaning you're going to go look for someone who's trapped. So when I'm looking for someone who's trapped, I go look for people who are buying and selling, and I ask, what would I have done in this situation? Where would my stop be? So if I was in this trade, my stop would probably be below this blue line or maybe below this blue line, one of those two blue lines. And we're gapping right now to 58, which is below one of those blue lines, which is right about here. Oops, sorry. So it would be right about there. That's where we're gapping present moment. Black candle gapping down is a retest gap, which means I would wait for some type of retest to take the trade. So I'm going to put Starbucks on the list. We're going to come back to it right before market opens and look at pre-market. Colgate-Palmolive, very strong company, blue chip, dividend payer, gapping down on earnings. I'll just do a trivia question for you all. Where would you have your stop if you were in this trade bullish? Would it be the red line? Would it be the purple line? Would it be the black line? Where would your stop be if you were in this trade bullish? Most of you are saying red or purple. Yeah, most of you are saying red or purple. And again, that can kind of depend. RM says not that many many gaps on bar chart, at least not yet. There's a lot. There's like 40. That's tons of gaps, man. That is a massive amount. So we're gapping. Let's see where we're gapping. So we're gapping to 74.50, which is right about the purple line. That's pretty much where we're gapping to, right about there, which means that it's a support or resistance price. So unless Colgate breaks that support price, right, people won't be horrifically trapped. There'll be some people trapped from the break of this pivot, but if there's not a lot of people from the break of this pivot, it probably won't crush lower. So I'll put it on the list. It's okay, and we'll kind of go forward. So right, RM, this is just the gap downs of the gaps. This is just the gap downs. OLED, a lot of people have been looking at this one last few days, and I keep telling them to keep waiting for it to go lower. I like 165. This is an interesting gap. Notice 165 is below the low of this hammer candle, right? So what we're doing right now is the fact that the low of this hammer is 165.20. And we can visually see with our eyeballs that it is gapping to 165 pre-market. That is a good gap, right? It's below that support. If you were in this trade, this is probably where it would be gapping to. Now, the challenge is you have a lot of black candles. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black candles in a row. So, right, this is me. I've found the gap. Now I'm qualifying the gap. So I have 5 black candles in a row. It's obviously a retest gap, but this could be a place after that much previous selling where people start buying to cover. A lot of traders could be buying to cover. Therefore, I will be very patient. Sorry, almost spelled it wrong. Patient on this trade. Meaning I'll wait 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'll give it some time before I do anything crazy with it. But there we go. So here's OLED on the list. Bed Bath & Beyond, ticker symbol BBBY. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. We're gapping down to 2210. So we have an interesting support level here, right? And really, I mean, the last one was you'd probably have your stop below all these wicks. That would make sense, right? So as it's gapping down below all moving averages, 22, it's a pretty good gap. 2201, nice retest gap. So this black line that I drew would probably end up being a target of some kind. So I'm just going to draw that on here. And again, folks, at this point, literally all I'm doing is drawing support and resistance lines, right? That's all. It's not that hard. I'm just drawing where did the stock stop moving at some point. I'm drawing a line there. As it's gapping down, I'm going to put BBBY on the list because it's, you know, it's a retest gap. It's the pivots that it's clearing. You have a short-term pivot there, right, based on that bullish candle and based on the low shadow of this candle. And then there's really not much else. You got a little something over here. But again, we're gapping below that, so it's not bad. So that's BlackBerry. I'm sorry, not BlackBerry. Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm going to start speeding it up just a little bit. Overstock.com, gapping down to 72.50. This is an okay gap, but it's not really trapping that many people. It needs to get below. All I'm doing is drawing a line below the low of this bullish candle, which is 71.40. 71.40 OSTK. Scott says, what about support, the large daily bar to the left? So this one would be a support, correct. 67.36. So if it gets down there, should be good. Bed Bath & Beyond. BBBY. Which candle to the left? This one? 12th, I think that's 9 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, so the low of that candle was 21.99. So that's exactly where we're gapping to. Yep, you're correct. That's pretty much exactly where we're gapping. That's why I put it on the list. And if that little support breaks, if you want to draw a little bit of a line there, that's fine. So that's exactly where we're gapping to. So we'll have a very good interpretation of a gap down. Kind of breaks that support. GDS, I just know gaps all the time. I'm pretty sure. Nope, I'm wrong. GDS, gapping down to 27.33. Not really taking out that many people, right? Not that many people are terrified. So that would be, right, if you were in this trade bullish, you'd have a support either there or there. Am I right? And then you'd want it to be below there. Robert says, once you hit your line, you then see it play lower or higher to determine whether you bet bearish or bullish. Good question, but that's all determined on the gap, Mr. Robert. That's all determined on the gap. So if the gap is bearish, I'm going to look to play it bearish. If the gap is bullish, I'm going to look to play it bullish. Eric says, how do we get your layout on TradingView? Eric, I have tons of videos on YouTube about TradingView. If you want, Brad, I'm sure we'll be able to send you 1 or 2 of those, or Ashley, or whoever's on the 1s and 2s back there. But yeah, you can make your TradingView look almost exactly like mine. Well, you can make it look exactly like mine. It's nothing special. So anyway, on GDS, it's not really that great of a gap. No one's really. Can you just give us a layout link? I don't know how to do that, Eric. Is there a way? If there is, you would teach me something new, and I'll give you a frequent trader point. So let me know if there is a layout link, because I have no idea how to do that, or if that's even possible. Teach me something, sir. Okay, GDS. I'm just going to write that down on another list. It's not really that impressive. Next, Stonebridge SBBP. Stonebridge. What do you guys think about this gap? Is it terrible? Yeah, nothing's exciting about it. It's opening up 5 cents. Nothing's trapped. Volume is low. Moving on to the next stock. Easy. GOV. Let's go look at that one really quick. GOV. Government properties income gapping down to 1791. It is trapping some people. So you had 3 white candles. We're gapping below 1797. It's okay, right? Because there's a lot of support over there. So let me just write that down on another list. Again, it's all right. There's just tons of daily support down here. We'll see. And the next on the list is QD. Richard says, how do you know whether gap is good to trade or not? That's what we're covering right now, Mr. Richard. So keep your eyes peeled, sir. Keep your eyes peeled. That's the point of this morning's discussion, is really determining who is trapped and who is not. Who is losing money and who isn't. Who's making money and who's not. Who's scared and who is not scared. If there's a bunch of people trapped and a bunch of people are losing money, Richard, it's a good gap. For example, here's a resistance line. Would you agree on that resistance line, Richard? And at that resistance line, we can visually see, identify, and interpret that people sold the stock short because the stock went lower at that particular price. Right? We can visually identify that. So if the stock gaps up right now, which it's not, but if it were gapping above here in the blue line, would that be a good gap, Richard? Yes or no? Richard says it would be a good gap. You got it. Good job, sir. That's your first one. High five. Virtual high five, my friend. Because that is right, is gapping above that resistance. People who sold short will be trapped. They'll be scared. They'll be losing money. They'll look to buy to cover. So yeah, it'd be a good gap. Ian says, can the gap and go or retest all occur during pre-market and then faded open? Absolutely it can. Yes, happens all the time. John says, is gap and go defined as a new direction, trend, and gap retest as a continuation of the same direction? Yeah, you can definitely think about it like that. Yep. Pat, Brad just answered your question. Garanga is very important. Yes, about trading psychology and the candles. I don't have any links I'm able to share right now, but I'm sure Brad will be able to post some. Great questions, guys. Again, this is still a free week, so I welcome the questions. But keep in mind, a lot of these questions I answer for free in my day trading program. Just got to kind of go through it, spend some time, chop around, look at some stuff. It's all free. Anyway, so QD's gapping down to 14.27. The low of yesterday is 14.18. So we're not even gapping below the low of yesterday, which means it's not a good gap. That's all the gap downs. And then here's the gap ups, right? So this is a nice solid list of gap ups. You couldn't trade all these gaps even if you wanted to. This is a solid list. So we got tons. John says, just having difficulty spotting a gap retest. I can help you with one right now. White candle gapping up. Amazon retest gap. There you go, John. There you go. I drew one on Tech Giant Tuesday in the afternoon swing trading room. Here's a white candle gapping up. See that pink line? That pink line I drew that on Tuesday. I said, hey, buy the retest. It literally retested yesterday. Well, not yesterday, the day before yesterday. That was it, right? This resistance line at 13.41, it pulled back into that 13.41 price. That was the opportunity to buy. Now, John, we're not done. Amazon's gapping right now. Right now, it's gapping. It's gapping to 13.93, which is a very good gap. It's a white candle gapping up. So what type of gap is that, John? Camilo says, are you moving forward with the 4 swing trades from yesterday? Yeah, of course. They've already set them up. I set them up last night at about 10:30 p.m. Central Time. So yeah, they're all ready to go. John, what type of gap is this? White candle gapping up. I'm not going to leave until you answer. It says gap and go. Nope. Retest gap. White candle gapping up. Always a retest gap. Always. That's the cool part about the way I classify gaps. It always is that way. Never changes. So if you want, John, you can make some flashcards. I found those to be really helpful for my learning. And again, if it's a retest gap, you're going to wait for a pullback. You're going to want to wait for a retest, and you're going to want to wait for the bounce to buy it. RM, I wouldn't look that far into it, sir. Just sometimes there's more gaps than others. I wouldn't look at it as the sentiment of the market changing specifically. It's just sometimes there's more gaps than others. So anyway, Amazon, nice little bullish retest gap. Going to put it on the list. It already had the retest, by the way, from this retest gap for both the swing and the day trade. Ian says, when drawing support and resistance lines, do you do the wicks or the real body, or does it really matter? It doesn't really matter. I usually do the real body, Ian, unless it's at an all-time high or all-time low. Like this on Amazon is the highest it's ever been. So I just used that wick because that's just the highest that it's ever been. So I figured I might as well have one there. But you can see this line right here, Ian, I used the body of that candle as my resistance line because it was a shaved top candle, so there's some selling pressure in there. Very good question. So Amazon on the list, Intel on the list. Those are some good gaps. Is AMD gapping? AMD is not on this list. I don't think AMD is gapping, but I'll go put on the list. It's gapping very small, 1268. So AMD, it is a bullish gap and go, but it's not clearing any pivots. The bullish trend should continue. So looks good. Leon, Starbucks, already on my list, kind sir. Already on my list, Leon. Thanks for looking. Got you, bruh. Me and you. Earnings are soon on AMD, however. So let's just practice. Richard, Angelis, if that's how you say your last name. Sorry if I messed it up. Question, Richard. If AMD were gapping today, right here, is that a good gap? Yes or no? What do you think? Is that a good gap? Yes or no? Richard says yes. All right, Richard. Now, tell me why. Tell me why it's a good gap. Why would that be important? Pat's got it. What do you think? Richard says, because there will be some sore losers. And there you have it, Richard. It's trapping those bearish traders, right? The traders who got in bearish, we can see with our eyes that there is a bear right there, there's a bear right there, there's a bear right there, and those bears will have to buy to cover, right? Buy to cover, and that'll cause some buying pressure, and if it causes some buying pressure, we can get in bullish. Thus, it would be a gap and go. That is correct. GW says, Jeremy, would it be a good gap if it just gapped above the wick of the prior day? Yeah, if there's enough people trapped. So like on AMD, for example, if AMD were gapping above the high of yesterday, right, if it was gapping above that wick, I actually like it when it does that a lot, GW. So yes, that is correct. Great question. So AMD, I'll write it down on another list. It's not really a day trade that I'm going to keep my eyes on. But there are tons of gaps out there. Scott says, don't you think the bears from October covered during that run? No, I do not. BABA gapping up to new all-time highs, 270. So it's a retest gap. We'll throw it on the list. BA. So there's BABA. Boeing, which is BABA divided by BA. Just traded right down to the 10 and bounced again. It's unbelievable. Just never closed below 332.12. Unreal. This move on Boeing is just a stormtrooper. I'm gonna write it down on another list. It is a retest gap, but it's very, very small, infinitesimally small. 344.18. It could probably keep going, no doubt about it. But there's so many good gaps to choose from today, and we only have 5 more minutes until the market opens. JD.com. Hi, I'm JD with JD.com. Andy, if you don't mind switching your chat pane from all panelists to all panelists and attendees, because right now only me and Brad will see your question. And the answer to that question is yes. I wouldn't worry about trading Robinhood with crypto right now. They just launched it, so they're going to have some issues for the first few days. 48.16, pretty decent gap on JD. It is gapping to a resistance level of sorts, right? You got some resistance up here, and we're gonna have a little bit of resistance here. This I'll put on the list, but I don't think I'm gonna trade this one. It's just gapping to a resistance zone, right? There's gonna be a lot of sellers up there. MYO is a swing trade that I wanted to set up. I'm gonna leave it open just in case it retests, but it probably doesn't. But it is gapping up. I will watch it because I do have a swing trade open from that yesterday. And again, there's tons of gaps out there, folks. I was going pretty slow today, so we're not really able to cover all of them, obviously. We'll look at 2 or 3 more, and then we're going to get ready. VIPS. VIPS is gapping up again. Wow. I'm going to write that one down, VIPS. Next on the list, Momo. I have a swing trade in Momo, so I'm kind of excited about this gapping. 30.40. All right, cool. Nice job, Momo. Keep it up. And then GILD and Square. GILD 82.07. So notice this is a good gap, but I have a resistance at 82.70. I'll throw it on the list because that could be exciting. Leon, my good friend, BBBY, already on the list. This is our watch list, by the way, sir, for our day trades. It's going to be on the right-hand side of the chart of the screen. So, yeah, BBBY, already got it. And let's go look at Square because there's tons and tons of traders in Square. SQ, gapping up to 45.52. Nothing exciting, not clearing any pivots. So Square will just keep doing what it's been doing, which is slowly grind higher. Okay, with 2 minutes left, let's go look at Starbucks, 57.88, still a pretty decent gap. I'm gonna go look at this pre-market. Pre-market, we can see it's trading pretty sideways. I doubt I will trade Starbucks today. It's rarely a good earnings gap to play. I haven't made money on it in a while, but if it breaks, you do have some support resistance right about here. If it breaks above there, maybe we fade it because it is a blue chip dividend, buy low, sell high type of trade. Intel is a pretty solid gap, 48.39. So Intel, my friends, is gapping above all of this resistance. All of this resistance. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful gap. So pretty. So we're gapping above resistance. People are getting trapped. Things are helping out. Things are jumping around. You can see that it is just, again, really good resistance right here. And we're gapping above that. So you got 2 black candles in a row. It's a good bullish gap and go. John says, is that an all-time high area? No, it is not. This is Intel, so they were doing their tech bubble thing. One of the stocks that I was most bullish on for the beginning of the year. So be bullish on Intel. That's the direction you're looking at playing that. Colgate, maybe. OLED, Universal Displays. I've already got a note on it, maybe. Bed Bath & Beyond, got that pink line at that candle, maybe. And market is opened. Here we go. So we'll see what we get a chance to play. Nothing to write out the gate, but Amazon will let for pull back. Bob is going to pull back some. JD is a maybe. MYO, just going to see if it's going to pull back. And GILD, it's a strong gap, but we're going to see how it interacts with that resistance. Richard says, taking gaps, do you take daily trend into consideration, or is daily price action exert from support resistance to macro? I think I know your question, Richard, but yes, I mean, we take the daily trend into consideration because if the gap is breaking the daily trend, then it's a great gap. Yeah. So again, guys, this is day trading analysis, right? This is what you do when you day trade, looking for gaps. Ian says, are you also using the gap analysis on the 5-minute or 1-hour charts too, or just the daily? Initially, Ian, just the daily. Yeah, look at the daily. It shouldn't gap very much on the 5-minute chart. That's the thing. It shouldn't really gap that much on 5-minute time frames. Intel, this is a very good bullish gap and go. I mean, this is phenomenal. So again, John, to answer your question, here's the monthly chart. And just zoom out a little bit, and you'll see that Intel has been much, much higher. So I like this gap. This is probably my favorite gap of the day. Amazon will be up there. Baba, maybe. JD.com, maybe. GILD, maybe. What am I going to look for on Intel? Realistically, it's a gap and go. I don't think we're going to come back to here. That would be where I would have loved to have gotten bought up on this trade with a limit buy down there. If it does not pull back down to that price, which it won't, so I'm focusing on Intel right now. I'm going to start getting the numbers ready. And then I'm going to pull up Bed Bath & Beyond, right? So I'm focusing on one gap right now. 48.23 by 47.76. Okay, here's the 1-minute chart. And this is the 5-minute chart. So it looks like it's already pulling back some. 48.20 by 47.70 is 50 cents of risk. It's a strong bullish gap and go. Let me turn off the pre-market to see where the 1-minute chart is. Yeah, I think we might pull back just a little farther. Angela says, could you have traded this pre-market and caught the gap? You could have. I mean, with Intel, it's a little bit better because the spreads aren't as bad, but pre-market trading can be kind of risky, Angela, mostly because the volume is terrible, the bid-ask spreads are terrible, everything's pretty terrible. Yeah, so I think we're going to pull back a little bit farther on Intel. 47.93 by 47.35. That would be, I'm buying it off the 50 EMA on the pre-market. As you guys can see, it's bounced there a few times. Actually, I'm just going to drop it a little bit more off to this resistance. 47.84 by 47.28. All right, INTC, 47.84 limit buy with a stop at 47.28. So for those of you who subscribe to the Real Life Trading Room, I'll be throwing you a, this is a text alert right here. I might readjust later. Day trade. So I'm gonna see if we can pull back. Why do I want it to pull back? Simply because I like buying as low as I can. That's pretty much it. Now, if it does not pull back this far, which is entirely possible, I don't mind taking a breakout either. So again, this is the one that I'm focusing on for just a little bit. If you want to find your stock, if you want to find another trade, that's entirely fine. Play what you want, track what you want, pull up your chart. Robert Falco, absolutely. I'm going to be setting that trade up as well, just in case. So I'm working on getting that one as well. So I got the original trade in. If that trade doesn't trigger, I'm going to go with a breakout because this is a nice high wave candle. Very pretty. So the first 5-minute candle is going to be an indecisive high wave candle, just like that. So it's got it. So INTC, second order, whichever one triggers first. Let's ride. So the other trade is going to be a breakout. 48.69 stop limit by 48.08. This shouldn't be too high on your buying power. This is a little bit of a cheaper stock. Not tons of buying power here. 48.69, 48.69 by 48.08. So I have two trades in right now, one for a pullback and one for a breakout, just in case, because this is a strong bullish gap. It's one of the stocks that I mentioned back in December. On December 29th, this is one of the stocks I was most bullish on for the year. So if you got into that back in December 29th, you're up handily. Hooray! So that's going to be Intel. Okay. So from here, let's go look at Starbucks. Okay, so Starbucks is just kind of chopping around. Looks like Bed Bath & Beyond pooped his pants. Yep, it did. It was a very good gap. It broke out that support right there. If you guys got into Best Buy, congratulations. That is the entry right there, unquestionable. Also a cheaper stock. I'm gonna set up that trade too to see if I can get in on a pullback. That is a beautiful breakdown. Look at that hammer candle on the 1 minute. Are you kidding me? BBBY 2190 limit sell by 2227. So right now we have 3 trades open, but 2 of them are on the same stock. If this trades down to this pink line or just really starts rip roaring lower, I'll just cancel the trade. But we should say, Steve, yeah, I do. He says, you are always in right off the bat, or do you ever wait 30, 60 minutes after open? I will wait. During earnings season, though, Steve, you got to be fast. Because when earnings happen, stocks usually gap pretty far, and everyone loses their mind, sells and buys and gets trapped, and their stops get hit, and so on and so forth. So you got to be kind of quick during earnings season, which this is what, I mean, this is earnings season right now. But yeah, I like to think that I wait sometimes as well. I've been known to wait 30 minutes. Maybe I'm just trying to show off. I don't know. Robert, yes. Thank you for that reminder. Always a good reminder. Be very careful with BBBY and BBY, Best Buy and Bed Bath & Beyond. I've gotten those mixed up a few times. So Bed Bath here, I will let this retest. I'm pretty sure we missed it. I know Brad typed in the chart trade earlier. Did you get in on that, Brad? If you did, congrats, man. That was a, you did get in, you Tasmanian devil of handsomeness. That was an easy gap. Sorry, guys. I should have let Brad do the morning room today. I suck. He would have gotten you into the winning trade. So Intel, INTC, this is still open. We're probably going to end up canceling the second trade. All right, so we can cancel the second trade. We can cancel the 47.84 pullback entry on Intel filled at, what did I fill at? Oh, cool. 48.67. I got 2 cents of slippage to the good side. All right. So this one on Intel again is the breakout 48.69 with a stop at 48.08. And again, I'm not saying it's going to work by any means, but it always could. Okay. So we can cancel these two. And now BBBY, I got it at 2190. I'm just going to probably cancel this one in a second. John says, what's the target? S&R from the past, 1R, 2R? John, great question. 2R, sir. I'll go with 2R. Right now, I don't have any target set just in case some things go amazingly well. I'll just let it ride for a bit. I got the stop in place. That's really what matters. But yeah, 2R is almost always the target initially. Intel, that is correct. Yep, I was referring to Intel also because we're not triggered in on Best Buy yet, or whatever the heck this stock is. Bed Bath and Beyond. I keep messing up my terminology. I'm going to leave Bed Bath & Beyond open, though. I just really like it on this chart. Let's see. Starbucks, it's not really doing much. So, again, Starbucks, if we're looking at this trade, I mean, it's that's why. It's right at the 200 on the daily chart. I see. I see, said the blind man who picked up his hammer and saw. Right at the 200. So that would make sense to actually possibly go bullish here. Yeah, for people who are waiting a while to buy, this would probably be a relatively decent time. Or especially if today's candle closes, I will put Starbucks on the list for Monday. So next Monday in the afternoon swing trading room is Merchant Monday, which we look at merchant stocks. So that'll be Starbucks. David says, what do you think of WGO? It's a great gap. It's going on the list. David, thank you. Already adding value that quickly. I like it. This is a retest gap. David, if I was looking at playing this one, I would get in below the low of that bullish candle, something like that. Stop. Something like this. I already got one trade set up on Intel and another open on Best Buy or Bed Bath & Beyond. So Bed Bath & Beyond, I'm still going to leave this one open. This is the retest right here. Let me go look at the daily chart and see if I'm missing something. No, not really. Monthly chart, is there anything on the monthly down here? No. Weekly, no. Daily, no. All right. This is pretty much the retest, though. Where's the volume weighted average price? Uh-oh, Andy Richardson. Just paying for 4 months of the subscription by following the rules over the past few days? What? I love it, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you'd be a part of the team. Because here's the thing. The more of you who sign, the better chance we win together. Honestly, that's just the way that works. Samsung Enforcer says, morning, do you still have the MU call open for today, Jeremy? I do not. So I emailed out an email Thursday morning saying I was exiting all of my swing trades, which included Micron. So I got half an hour on Micron. Great question. So this is the retest on BBBY. Let's cancel that trade. So cancel BBBY. This was the retest right here. This is the one that should have filled, and it did not. I missed it. Brad is better than I am. But what's new? Sue, welcome. Thomas got 0.4 Rs. Nice, dude. Wow, 0.4 R on Bed Bath & Beyond. Good job, Thomas. So again, this is the trade. I'm going to cancel my setup. Give me 1 second. Let me hop over here to the broke. Efren says, how do I join you, Jeremy? Awesome question, man. Let me send you the link right now. So it's at the front of the Real Life Trading website, RLT Winter Sale. This is the link, and I will put that in the chat pane for you, Efren, and I'll also send it to you directly. Efren, that's a cool name. I haven't looked at Micron today, though, and let me go look at Micron. Ooh, nice little pop. Right on. Okay, so we are in on Intel. It's not working, but I do like gap and goes to go a little bit faster than this. I'll see how long exactly I can hold this trade, but I will do my absolute best, because gap and goes, you want them to go pretty fast. The trend looks solid, so maybe I'm missing something, but that weekly, yeah, looks good. Needs to break 50, says Robert, or 90. So if it breaks 90, I guess we'll keep holding. But yeah, we'll do our best to either lose small or win small on Intel. By the way, folks, today at this point, it's going to be all about capital protection. Had you followed the trades that I did, Brad did, or Latoya did this week, if you follow the trades verbatim, penny for penny, you're up over 8 R's on the week. It doesn't matter how big your R is. Your R could be $1. You're up 8 R's. If your R is 50 bucks, you have $400 this week. For a $50 R, you'd have 400 bucks this week. That's a car payment. If you have a $100 R, that might be your mortgage. Ricky says LRCX. Just took 1 hour profit. Rick, one day, man. One day I'm going to do what you do. One day. Uh-oh, there's my brother. There he is. Kim from the UK. Type in a 2 if you're from the UK. Or, you know, just that general area. So please do me a favor. And I'm just saying this from the niceness of my heart, even for just like a month. If you guys could all just sign up together and then hop into Slack and then become friends and start chatting and share some stuff with me. I need to learn more about UK trading from people who live in the UK. So I think the best way to do that is to have some UKs join the trading room. You guys all kind of form a team and then keep me in the loop with what's going on. So I'm going to reply. I'm going to copy and paste. So Steve Morton, Bash, Richard Angeles. Where did Richard go? Shoot, things are coming in too fast. Anyway, I'm just saying, if you guys want to hop in and just, you can become trading buddies. I mean, worst case scenario, you have 5 or 6 people who live where you guys live, trade what you trade. That's not a bad deal. Clive says, just paid for my first month on real life trading, 2 R's on Intel. Woo. Good job, Clive. Well done. My target initially on Intel, I doubt we get there. For me to hit 2 R, I was a little bit more conservative, which I usually am. And so that we all know this, I usually do trade a little bit more conservative because any trade that I do, I know about 100 people are going to follow it. So I'm usually on the conservative side. Just as a standpoint. But the cool part about my analysis is when I set my analysis up, again, use the group to its power and leverage it to your benefit, right? If I look at a stock and I go, hey guys, this stock is bullish. This is a very bullish gap. And I'm hopping in with real money and you guys are trading it, that should at least give you encouragement to potentially take the trade. Right? Bash, that sounds good, but I'm new to this. That's okay. That's all right. Bash, 90% of this room is brand new. That's totally fine. Totally fine. Not a problem. The best way to get good is to immerse yourself with people who are really good. Here's the thing, guys. This is a non-judgment zone. Judgment-free zone. Okay? Judgment-free. This is not high school anymore. So the reason I say that, I am the worst learner in the room usually. I'm a very slow learner. Takes me 1,000,000 hours longer than most to learn something. But once I've got it forever. So it's just one of those things. Ian says, I'm still just paper trading. Yeah, exactly. There's tons of people paper trading and learning. That's fine. Deanna, exactly, Deanna. Not a problem. So Dan says, would love to be getting on the R's, but I'm putting all the pieces together by watching and learning. And again, that's fine. Here's what's cool. Here's what's cool. When you beautiful people learn this skill, when you learn this skill, it's a skill that you can use for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. So if you spend a year learning this, think about think about college education, or if you're in another country, think about going to university. Right? How long do you spend there learning something where you spend a year learning this? This is a skill that you can use forever. Brian says, why does my chart on TradingView say BATS and yours says NASDAQ? Because I pay for my data and you do not. That's why, buddy. You have free data, which is fine, dude. It's all good. You know, I get it. Not a big deal. But just letting you know. Efren says, I just joined. I work weird times day and night. Do you record any of this? Yes. Yep. In fact, Efren, you should have received about 5 hours worth of videos so far this week, maybe even more than that. If you did not, let me know. If you didn't receive any of those recordings, please get at me, but they should be in your inbox. What I'm doing right now on Intel is I'm allowing it to retest. I'm letting it retest before I increase the stock at all. Pat says, do you pay extra for pre-market data? Yes, you do have to pay extra for pre-market. I don't know exactly how much it is. I think, guys, honestly, out the box, tax tag and title, data and everything on TradingView, you can get it for like $30 a month. I think. It's not that bad. Yeah, so I mean, it's not outrageous by any means. Richard says, Efren, where are you geographically? You seem like a very positive guy determined to make it here. I agree. Where is everyone geographically? Andy says, for sure about college, I just finished my degree and struggling to get $1 raise at work, so I decided to reward myself by day trading and making real money. Boom. Boom. Huntington Beach, California. Efren, nice. A lot of traders live down there, live over there. Okay, sorry, I'm just chatting. I know we're answering a lot of questions. I'm just going to let Intel retest. Bed Bath & Beyond is retesting right now. Starbucks is bouncing off of the support. JD.com traded to its resistance. Amazon, someone asked earlier about Amazon, how I would trade it. I would trade it with options. And you'd either be buying here at that pre-market support or there at the high from yesterday. So again, it's moving a little bit too fast. I do trade options very frequently in the rooms, but I'm not going to do it on the free week. That's going to open up a giant can of worms. Clive says, just got my confirmation email that I started with the hedge fund February 1st. Can finally start shorting with real life trading. Very nice. Congrats, Clive. I know you've been working on that for a few days, so well done. I'm pumped, buddy. Clive is in. Ricky says, Jeremy, if anyone's following along with Square, it is retesting the neckline of the double bottom. I think that's on the 15-minute chart, maybe, or hourly. What time frame are you looking at? 1 minute. Oh, I can see it. Yep. I see what you're looking at. So here's the daily chart on Square. What it's doing right now is beautiful resistance. Boom, boom. A very nice pennant pattern. So as this trades sideways on Square and slowly pops higher, it's going to be a very, very nice move. Josh, Clive signed up through the Real Life Trading Professional Trading Program. I will have a webinar about this in February. But here's the professional trading program, Josh. So he's going through the real life trading the real life trading route. Yeah, you're welcome. Brian, all right, awesome. Hey, thanks, guys. Corey and Asha answering that question for me. Appreciate it. Okay. Let me go look at BABA. So BABA's at 200, new all-time high. OLED. So OLED, pretty decent gap, but it's doing its thing. Overstock.com, hanging out. MYO probably won't fill me. GILD, whoa, big gap on GILD. Broke through that resistance like butter. And then Winnebago, WGO, hadn't triggered this yet. Very nice. Okay, so this might be our second trade. I like this on WGO. What's the low of this? 70. Okay. Brad says out on Bed Bath & Beyond, made 26 bucks. A little bit more than my buy-in for poker tonight. All right. Hey, man, good job. Well done. We can look at the broad markets really quick. SPY. Woo, what a nice gap. SPY gapped up. CenturyLink just filled earlier. That's a swing trade. CenturyLink, 1802, hoping that one continues higher. A little bit of an aggressive trade, but I like it. TSRO. So TSRO, probably gonna end up canceling that because it's breaking through the stop right now, which is fine. MYO and then CARA, I don't think fills. Jim Lynch says, Jeremy, my wife and I are wanting to do the BOGO so we can trade together. What's the next step? I really enjoy this community. Hey, thanks, Jim. That's awesome and nice of you, man. I did mention that yesterday, and I just will repeat that. If you're married or have a lifelong partner, trading partner, you guys get the point. If you want to trade together, we do a special. I mean, that's easy, right? I think all companies should do that in a way. But there's the link, Jim. I put it in the chat pane. I'll also send it to you directly. So, you and your wife or you and your husband, you guys can trade together. I'll create you separate accounts. They can have their own accounts if they want. They can get their own emails and logins. That's just a value add. So, Iris says, get a cell phone when you sign up. That would be cool. That'd be fun. If you buy now, we'll throw in this cell phone. David says, what time do you normally do the swing trade discussion? I've been watching CTL for some time. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. So, David, did you get a chance to receive the email yesterday from Transportation Thursday? He said, yeah. So that email I was talking about, I went over the swing trade discussion. So you have Tech Giant Tuesday, Energy Wednesday, and Transportation Thursday. You should have all received those, right? Those are from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. Great question. 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. David says, so 6 a.m. for me. Yep. But I do record it. So if you receive the recordings, you'll get the email, and you're able to see what stocks we looked at in the video and kind of in what order I looked at them in. And so you can kind of go through. And also when you purchase, you get access to the Swing Trading Journal. So you can just open up the Swing Trading Journal and you can determine and find out what we're trading, right? So this is the Swing Trading Journal right here. So you get access to this as well. So I mean, you can just open it up. Everyone gets this link, and you can go, oh, cool, they're in these trades, and you can go set them up that way. There's all kinds of cool ways to rock it out. I'm gonna go look at our Intel trade. It's really not moving as fast as I want, but that is a retest right there, so I can't argue too much about it. So what time is it? It's 9. So we've been in this trade about 30 minutes. I need Intel to make a higher high in the next 30 minutes. Otherwise, I'll look to exit. So folks, this is me telling the market what I want it to do. HH is higher high. I just didn't want to spell out the whole thing. But if we can break above this 49.06 in the next 30 minutes, so I'm just going to leave it alone for 30 minutes. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to leave my stop where it is. I'm going to let Intel do its thing. Hopefully just keep slowly getting pressed higher. Again, I'll go ahead and put the target on for this. Target is 49.91. I doubt we get there, but you never know. Sometimes magic happens. If we get 2R on Intel, folks, I want every one of you to sign up. That would just be, there'd be no reason not to. You'd be losing money not doing that. You would be throwing money away. Brian says deal. All right, deal. Target on Intel. Because too much buying power would be coming in for me, and I don't like that. So Bed Bath & Beyond, pulling back some. Camilo says, all right, just signed up. This is too good. Yeah, love it, guys. Efren says, what's your thoughts on XAL? XAL hitting the 50. You mean DAL probably. Right, I'm assuming Efren, Delta. So Delta, also Efren, if you check your email, yesterday, Transportation Thursday, Delta was part of that list. So we looked at it yesterday afternoon for a swing trade perspective. My thought on Delta, this is obviously a spot where it can bounce, but I really prefer Delta to come back down to right about here, which is about 53.90. 53.90 would kind of be that area on Delta. So if you want to kind of look to snag something there, that would be kind of the area I'd be looking at. B. Brito says, just joined, may hit you up on the BOGO later. How do I get on the Slack channel? Cool, Brito. Give us about just a few minutes. I have another real life trader getting everyone signed up. We'd like to do everything hands-on, just make sure everyone did everything correct, everything is in place. We'd like to offer good customer service. So really, you'll get an email here probably in about 20 minutes. Yeah. I appreciate it, B. Brito. Very kind of you. Thank you. I'm so pumped, guys. This is so fun. Man, this is fun. That's like trading with everybody. Camila says CTL is down. It probably is. Was that CenturyLink? Yeah, well, we got the stop in place. So that's why it's there, Camilo. Let the broker do its thing. Let the broker, let the market. I don't even stress about it, man. Don't even stress about it. Let it, close your eyes and let it make its magic. Okay, so I know there's a lot of questions so far. This is great. I'm gonna look at Apple really quick. Okay, so Apple is just hanging out for the most part. Disney, trying to go higher is Disney. It's trying to bounce. CCL, Carnival. So I got a put sale on Carnival. Really excited about that. And Daniel Lindquist got $0.50 on Colgate. Wow, Colgate did end up pooping his pants. Congrats. Good job, Daniel. Again, I missed that trade. You guys know that. Can't be in everything, and it's okay. Beautiful bearish gap. Let me go look at this 5-minute. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah, that's easy. That is easy. Type in a 1 if you can see probably where Daniel got in. I mean, if you're going to go bearish, you get a giant bullish candle like this with all that volume, and the stock breaks lower than that, that's probably where you hop in. So for a day trade, nice little move on Colgate. Steve says, Jeremy, do you think let it pull back and then re-enter? So right now, it did break the long-term moving averages. I'm definitely going to keep it on the list, Steve, and we'll see if it can pull back. Yeah, we'll definitely see. Again, Baba, guys, going to go to 300 this year. Buy the dip, be bullish on earnings. It's going to look good. OLED. Nailed it. Yes, I feel good about this. This is exciting. The reason I'm excited about this, I had 3 separate traders ask me this week, and you guys can go back to the recordings. They're all there. 3 traders asked me about OLED back in here, where they should buy. And I said, wait until that 100 at least. We're coming into the 100. I track OLED semi-often for another friend of mine. So anyway. Ooh, Brad's throwing numbers on Starbucks. What are you doing on Starbucks, Brad Reed? What are you doing? 57.47. So Brad's looking at going bearish here with a stop right here. I'm not going to personally take that trade, Reed, just because of the support right there and the support right there. It might work, but Starbucks rarely just crumbles and falls out of bed. There's going to be a lot of people that want to buy this dip. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. WGO, good job being patient, team. Very well done. Whoever requested that one, that was still a great move, but it's hanging out. Neil says, Intel just made a new high. You have to stay in. That is correct. I do. Okay, so I still don't know if I'm going to win on this trade or not. Hopefully I will at this point. Because now some shorts are going to start getting trapped. But I will move my stop. This is tough. This is tough. Move my stop right here. 48.47. New stop. New stop, 48.47 on Intel. Bed Bath & Beyond, still kind of retesting. Starbucks doing its thing. JD.com. So JD traded right to this pink line, which is a very strong resistance. Amazon, beautiful retest gap. And look at the retest, ladies and gentlemen. It retested like Mike Oldfield snowboards. Colgate, again, very nice little move. We're going to keep it on the list. Baba looks bullish longer term. OLEDs right at the 100, so we're going to keep waiting that one out. Overstock just cranked higher. Didn't really gap below any pivots, so I think I can take that off the list. Philip, I will take all at 2R if we magically get there. MYO, this is a swing trade that's open, and I'll leave it open. When's earnings on MYO? I thought they were later. MYO, it doesn't even have earnings. Let me go to Earnings Whisperer. 212, okay. Thanks, Falco. Intel's were today, MYO. That says February 5th. Well, they're coming up, so we'll see exactly how long I end up holding this trade open on MYO. Pat says, do not trust the earning date and the square next to the ticker details. Ticker details. Nice. Pat? I have never even noticed that before. I've seen this one, but I've never seen this one. Is there another one? You said lower right. So you've already taught me something new. Is there another one on this one? Both of them. Okay, so to answer your question, I trust it a little bit. I was trying to think of a cool methodology comparison. Yeah, I trust it a little. It's usually incorrect. But you taught me something new, Pat, because I have never seen it over here. Even if I don't trust it all the way, I like learning new things. So when you sign up, Pat, you're getting a frequent trader point for teaching me something new. I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't, Pat, I don't know if you signed up or not yet already. I know you mentioned you're planning on it, but I can find out. Let's see if you're in Slack. Pat, she said not yet. Okay. No worries, no pressure. I'm saying if you do, I got you. Got you on my list. I like learning new things. But yeah, TradingView, I like what Richard Farr Jr. says. TradingView has been sort of sketchy on the earnings date. Yeah, it's a little, it's okay. BSPM, John McDaniel. Whoa, Nelly. BioStar Pharmaceuticals. Gotta throw that on the list. Jiminy Christmas. Jim O'Neill. Woo, BioStar. We'll put this on the list because this might even be worth just 25 shares or something because it probably will gap up massive tomorrow morning. Ricky, yep, OLED, absolutely. Veronica says LMFA. Is that a ticker or is that laugh my? I don't know what F and A would stand for. Oh, that's a band name. LMFAO. Lemonade is mighty fine after hours. No, that's an O. That's an H. I'm just kidding, guys. I know what it means. Oh, man. I am a millennial after all. I have to know these cool terms. But LMFA is a ticker. It is a ticker, up 19%. LMFA. Francois, thank you so much for that update. I appreciate it. I think I still owe you an email, by the way. I'm working on it. Intel, ladies and gentlemen, again, if it hits 2 R's, you guys all have to purchase today. There's just, you have to. There's no, you are losing money by not doing it. It's just it is a good, smart investment. Is all I'm saying. Now, it might not hit 2 R's, but at this point, we're guaranteed that we won't lose on it. So I'll just let you make the right call then if we just make money and, you know. What time is it? 9:15? Don's already in. Yep. Don's already in. Big Sky Crypto. I was glad to have you back, man. I told Ashley I was glad to see you back. I miss you, dude. You're a cool guy. So here's the challenge on Intel for me right here is determining exactly when to get a pullback. So usually it comes in waves. So before I move my stop, I would like to see another pullback, which is fortunately and unfortunate because no one ever wants to hold through the retracement, right? No one ever wants to hold, including me. So I got to give it a little bit more time before I move my stop because what I do not want to do is move my stop to here. This happens and then we hit 2R. So yeah, this is the hardest part of trading, honestly, guys. And that's why I like having a team of awesome people like you around me to help me be better. The answer to the question is regarding moving your stops and things like that, it is the hardest part. Patience is usually the best virtue as it comes to trading. So if we make a new high in the next 5 minutes on Intel, I'll increase the stop to here so that we at least make a little bit of money. If we don't make a new high in the next 5 minutes, then I'll just keep waiting. Brad says, waiting is the hardest part. Tom Petty, sing it, dude. Could put that song on. It is Friday. So what I like to do is I just like to plan for that retest and say, okay, if it pulls back, it pulls back. I like the way Matt rolls. He says, I'm in regardless of Intel at 2R. I like that. RM says, what about taking half off? Yeah, you could take a quarter position or something like that off, but man, that full 2R sure would be nice. It really would be pretty. So I'm just going to give it a little more time before I move my stop, because here's the extent. If I turn off the extended hours, here's what we got. We haven't even hit the 10 EMA on the 5-minute chart yet. I think this thing has room to go. So it was pretty much an instant profit. I'm just going to let this one kind of ride out. At this point, we can't lose a full R on the trade, so I'm just going to be kind of patient. It's hard, folks. Trust me. It's real tough. But if there's one thing I'm good at, it's just forgetting about the trade and letting it do its thing. So here comes the retest. 15-minute chart. Yeah, so let it do its thing. Stoically patient, if that's a word. Oh, sounds good. I can dig it. Bed Bath & Beyond, Snapdragons. Garanga was right. She's always right. I should have left my order open. Brian says, is it too late to get in on Intel? Yes, you missed it. Starbucks, trading sideways, JD.com. Still hanging out. So this pink line's a big resistance. Amazon, so you got that pre-market resistance. Colgate was a great breakdown. We might take that one at some point later today. Baba is just going to keep climbing higher. Baba to the moon. OLED, again, it's right at the 100. MYO, I'm going to take MYO off the list because I'm going to look at it for a swing trade anyway. So this is one of our official swing trades that we set up. I'm not going to day trade it. I do have a rule that I don't day trade and a swing trade at the same time because, you know, if I lose on one, then it kind of negates the other generally. So my bro, Mike O, EGHT with the gap. Very pretty. 8x8 incorporated. Nice, very pretty. Yep. I'll put that on the list. Some of you guys are talking about VMware. Hanging out for a bit. What did it do? Yeah, that's a large gap up there. A lot of people selling. Shopify made a new high. Yep, so I was talking about that yesterday. I think it's going to go a little bit higher before we pull back. That's where all the noobs are going to get in right here. This is where Jeremy 2010 would buy. Ron says it's Square too late. No, honestly, I don't think it is. Ron, I like it if it makes a higher high. What's this? 48.52, 48.80. Yeah, so if it breaks 48.82, you can enter above there with a stop, 42.52, something like that. Heath says, how do you know when it's too late? Usually, Heath, if you have to ask, that's how you know. The question really is, if you're not in the trade and you feel like you're chasing it, that's when it's too late. The best trade to get in is usually the most uncomfortable one. Usually the most uncomfortable. So here's the 1 minute chart. Very nice double bottom, Rick. Beautiful call, man. You nailed it. You and Tommy Monet were talking about this one. There's a double bottom. There's the retest. There's the pop. Good job, Rick. But that's a very good question, Heath, about missing the trade. I mean, it all comes down to not letting the market tractor beam you, right? Not buying at the absolute highest price because you're excited about the trade. You're excited about what it may or may not do. You're anxious. You're eager, right? If your heart is pumping and your hands are twitching and you feel like, man, I'm missing this trade. It's usually when you know it's too late because it's, well, usually too late. Tailored brands. Daily chart for a swing, says Ian. I'm just looking at how much farther it has to go, Ian. Yeah, I could dig it. Obviously, I would have loved for you to have gotten in back here on this pullback back in early January. You could probably hop in here to the hourly chart and find a good setup. Maybe a pullback to here, 24.58. So something like this, stop right here. Because this is the pre-market, that's the pre-market high right there. There you go, Ian Watson. That's what I think. I'll put it in the chat pane. Let me know if you need it. Steve Morton. What's up, you beautiful human? ABBV. ABBV. Steve says, I'm in on it. 5-minute chart. Stop is 11. 115.59. It's a good stop. Good stop. Nice hammer candle right there. Good breakout. Here's your retest. Good buying opportunity. This is another retest. So I agree with you, Steve. If it breaks below here, it probably won't be the most phenomenal trade in the world. So what I will do is I will put that one on the list for you, and I will watch it with you. Someone asked earlier about BIIB. I missed who that was. BIIB, Biogen, up 3%. Gorgeous gap yesterday. Nice follow through today. Very pretty. Efren says, TRTN, I've been trading this for a while. It's channeling between 42 and 36. Limit buy. Thoughts, oh, wise one. That's not me, man. That's someone else. I'm just a dude with a giant head. I'm going to put BIIB on the list for next Wednesday. This one is a good-looking trend. This thing can easily go higher. So on the daily chart, you had this very pretty bullish gap and go. It actually retested, and you got a higher move today. So BIB looks really pretty. TRTN, and then I'm going to go move the stop on Intel. Triton International. I'm going to go look at this weekly chart. So newer stock, newer company on the market. Old resistance right here. I have a limit buy at 37.25. 37. I mean, it's solid. If it got down there, I don't know if it will, right? But we never know if it will. I'm not in this trade at all, Efren, so don't think I'm cool or anything. But I would have had my entry about 37.86 based on the high of that bearish candle right there as old resistance, new support. Robert says, I think Apple makes it to the 100. Me too. There's a good chance that it can do that. Per the covered call up there for February. Victor's got a put sale. Good timing, Victor. That one expires next week for Victor. I'm looking for some bull put spread. I would go long on Apple with a pullback to the 100. Short term. I'm in long term, as you guys all know. But Apple, a little bit of a breakdown. Let's see, maybe a March 155, 150. Whoa, that's some good premium there, actually. March 155. Because I think Apple either gaps down and then trades higher on earnings, or gaps up on earnings and then continues to run. I think that's a pretty good bet. My question is, could I get more premium for that? Because we haven't hit that 200 in forever. Breaking the 50. Yeah, I think we're going to go just a smidge lower. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a price zone for when I trigger into that spread with a limit. Spread trigger. Begins working on 155, 150 March bull put spread. So right now it's like 155 and 90. So I would say 68 cents. That's 169.09. A lot of 6s, 8s, and 9s in this. Apple bull put spread idea. Looking for Apple to possibly go a bit lower. My thoughts on Apple is it gaps down on earnings and then provides a great buying opportunity. But this is a nice pullback to find some longer term buy spots, in my opinion. Johnson had to step away for a bit. Did you close the Intel? No way, dude. Why would I do that? Why would I close Intel? It's working really well right now. John says, can you do options in the hedge fund? That's a very good question, John. The answer is no. Nope. Because if you think about it, options are already leveraged, right? So when you join the hedge fund, you are getting massive leverage, and honestly, it's protecting you. Because if you bought, let's say, $4 grand worth of an option trade, you could lose more than your buy-in, than your skin in the game. So, yeah, since it's already leveraged, you're already getting the max amount of leverage you can get anywhere else on your money. So, for example, Interactive brokers and other brokers will give you 1 to 4 margin. Sure Trader, which is in the Bahamas, gives you 1 to 8. There's a few other places that give you 1 to 10. So for $2,500, $2,575 realistically, you get $30,000 of allocated funds to trade with. So it's actually a little bit more than 1 to 10, technically, but right at 1 to 10. So it beats Sure. No, actually, I think Sure Trader is 1 to 6. I don't even think it's 1 to 8. Plus, they're in the Bahamas, so you get to decide how much you trust an offshore fund in the Bahamas. Your call. The fund that I work with actually has like SEC attorneys and stuff, in America. Robert says, I've heard some really bad things about Sure Trader. That's a long discussion, man. There's a lot of people who love pumping Sure Trader, and they talk about their small account challenges and how much money they're going to make with their small accounts trading Sure Trader, but they fail to tell people that they get, kickbacks for referring people to Sure Trader, so they make more money referring people to Sure Trader, and that money they put back into their Sure Trader account, so it's almost a sure way to make money. So Anyway, RM says, so you could get 100K with 10,000. Correct. Goes all the way up to $250,000. All right. Let's go look at Intel. So we're getting a little bit of a pullback again. This hasn't even hit the 10 EMA on the non-extended hours. That's going to be our next really good knight in shining armor. So at this point, we're going to be able to lose less than an R. This is going to be a really hard hold, but I need to see how it interacts with the 10 EMA on the daily. So the next pullback that happens, which is probably now-ish in the next 10 to 15 minutes, that's when I'll move my stop again. So far, it's looking good. It's very hard to hold. This is the hardest part of trading, and I can promise you it does not get any easier the longer you're in. You can trade for 30 years, and it doesn't get any easier. Because the longer you trade, the more money it is the more money you have on the line, right? I'll put it this way, Corey. If I trade with, here's the best analogy I can give. Corey, how much do you bench press, man? You got to be honest with me. Your weight. Okay, cool. So you can bench press your weight. I think I can do that. I think I can get my weight. Can I get my weight, Brad? I bench press with you. You tell me. I don't remember. I think I can do my weight. So anyway, what I'm getting, Corey, is let's say you can bench 400 pounds. How much work is it to go from 400 to 500 pounds in bench press? How hard is that? Huge, right? It's massive. Massive, massive. Joe says it's easy. It's tough for mere mortals, Joe. For us, normal guys. This is just kidding. I know. Real tough. But if you can bench 400 pounds, how easy is it to bench 200? Right? So if you can bench 400 pounds, benching 200 is no problem. I mean, that's pretty much what you're going to warm up with. So if I'm day trading with a $20 R, that's $20. I don't care. Like I will hold it. So I'd hold it for 4 weeks, a year and a half. Like I give zero cornbreads. No cornbreads given. If it's a smaller R unit. But the larger the R, the more you trade, right? So the more you trade, hopefully the bigger your R gets. The bigger your R gets, the harder it is to hold because, well, your R's increase. So very similar to bench press or weight training. The more you weight train, hopefully the stronger you get. But it's just a math ratio at that point, right? The stronger you get, the harder it is to really throw up massive amounts of weight or to really increase your weight just because the weight is bigger. So yeah, the bigger the weight, the harder it is to hold is what I'm trying to get at. So the bigger you are, the harder it becomes. So if you have a $50 R right now and you're struggling with it, think about it like you're working on the bench press and you're only bench pressing 50 pounds. It takes time. That's all. It just takes time. It takes practice. So what you have to do is you have to build that muscle. Pat says, remember the average age is 52, so there's not that many of us bench pressing anymore. Maybe, but you can still bench press at 52. I got a coaching student with me who's 59 from Atlanta, and me and him worked out hard yesterday. Hard. I don't know, that's just, he went rock climbing with me. It's just whatever. 52, age is just a number, right? I mean, it is what you want to do, but. Garanga says, I was bench pressing at 52 and I'm an old fat lady. You're not fat or old. That is funny. Anyway, that's the best analogy that I can get, guys. It'll get easier over time. So just do your absolute best to practice. You've got to build the muscle. What's the best way to build those muscles? What is the best way? Have someone there with you, right? Have someone there with you. Have a spotter, practice it, repetition, smaller initial amounts. Yeah, but if you have a partner, stay in the group, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, so you guys got it. You got the point. I mean, that works with everything. That's just how it is. Practice often, get coaching, eat well. Yeah, exactly. So all of those things formulated into working out can be easily applied to trading. It's all process, right? The process is all the exact same. But I do want to throw out some love to Robert. Says I can bench 120 at age 67. Nice. James says I'm 62 and still throwing free weights around. I love it. James says shrugs, curls, bench, but not many squats. I hear you. DJ said just started lifting, so we'll see. Joe says 67 and beasting. Joe, you got some work to do, man. You got to step up your game. Me and you both. By the way, every May is Health and Wellness Month at Real Life Trading. So I don't know what the health challenge is going to be for May, but it's going to be a fun one. March is Kids Month. March is Kids Month. There's going to be a really cool challenge in March at Real Life Trading. So make sure to be here for that. I have the privilege of helping some kids in the Nashville area. That's going to be exciting. Efren says, I'm 52 and lash on container ships as a longshoreman. That just sounds awesome. Heck yes. This is cool to hear what everyone's doing. So anyway, that's my analogy. That's what I got. Best Buy, Garanga, I got to give you a freaking trader point. I got to give you some love. For calling me out on BBBY. I was chicken. No, it's okay because I should have held. I feel like I should have held, but it's all right. While I'm here, let me tell you one of the most important things you can do as a new trader. And no one's going to want to hear this, but it's just the truth. Here's one of the most important things you can do as a new trader: walk away. Set it and forget it. As a new trader, that's one of the most important things you can do. While I'm here trading, there's plenty of times where I overthink stuff still. I do things that are dumb. But for the first 2 years, when I actually finally started profitably day trading, my rule was once I placed the trade, I just walked away. So Joe, I either lost an R in those 2 hours or I hit my 2R target. Otherwise, I would come back to the trade 2 hours later, and if I didn't get stopped out, then I would just move the stop. So that was kind of my, that was kind of the way it was for me. I would just 2 hours, I would walk away from the start. So just kind of getting that out there. That is it's a very, very big takeaway for newer traders. Boy, there's a lot of good gaps out there, guys. I will say this: if I make 2 Rs on Intel, I'm not going to take any other trade today, just so that you all know. If I make 2 Rs on a day, I'm good. I'm totally good. I don't need anything else. Short WGO, no, wait on that one. Scotty says OCO. I learned it from you guys. Thanks. My pleasure, Scotty. You're exactly right. OCO is the way to go. Intel. That's the retest right there, folks. That's the one I want. 49.13. RM says, how many negative R's do you allow? 3 in a day is my max. Let's increase stop on Intel to 49.13. So this way, folks, we can now officially lock in some profit. Hooray! Hooray! Profit. Your stop on ABBV. So ABBV, fantastic stop at this point, Steve. I'd probably have it right here at 116.88, and then let this happen before we move the stop again. Oh shoot, sorry. Don't let that happen. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Well, you know what? I'll just put that chart just in case. Why not? Here you go. But very nice, nicely done, Steve. You've been doing very well this week. I'm not in this trade, but I will continue to keep an eye on it because there are some of you who are in it. So here's where I would have my stop. Now again, 2 Rs, whatever you're trading, you know, whatever you're playing. Eric T says, in Intel, are you doing a stop or stop limit? Just straight up stop market. This would be a stop market sell order. 49.13. Chris, what time frame? Day trade, swing trade? Talk to me. Swing on Baba. I would wait. If you're not in already, you missed it. Earnings are next week. Unless you want to do it with options or just tiptoe. Put your small pinky toe in. Steve says, I'm up 3R on that trade. If you're up 3R, Steve, yes, I would take it all off the table. Let me go look at the daily chart really quick. I'm going to come back to Baba. Yeah, I would take your 3Rs off, Steve, and smile big. Back over to Baba. I've mentioned this one about 7 times this week. I would say I love Baba long term. It absolutely is a breakout. Do not be afraid to take this trade bullish. Long term, I would just say if you want to be in, put some shares in, right? Put your pinky toe into the water because earnings is next week. Who knows what's going to happen on earnings, but my late Q1, early Q target is 217. I think she's going a nice little move. John Song says swing trade on Clorox. John, if Clorox breaks above the high of this trade and breaks have a stop right here, that's how I would trade Clorox. Here you go, John. Okay. Sorry, again, it's still a busy morning, but we're doing pretty well. I'm gonna hop over to the SPY. A few people chatting about SPY. So SPY right now, doing its thing. This is the daily chart making another all-time high. Another one. Just slowly creeping. So yeah. I like our stop. I think we can move our stop up, Derek Washington, to maybe a 505 or something on SPY. Asha says, are we selling Intel, partial position? I'm not personally. You can if you want, but I'm holding for 2 Rs. Ricky says, Jeremy, Mike and I are in on AMD long-term July calls. What should we do over earnings? Buy some puts to protect the downside for the week? Yeah, I would get into a collar, Ricky, if you want, for July. I would sell, if I were in an option trade on AMD. I know earnings are right around the corner. I would sell 1550 calls, which you're only going to get February. So let me do this for you, Rick. I would do 1550 calls. Short Fed calls
And then I would do, because I think you guys got in back down here. And then I would do long Fed puts at 11, which is actually cheaper. That's 18 cents for $11 puts. Yeah, so that way if you got in at 10, which is about the same price I got in, that way you can't lose on that trade and you get paid to protect yourself. That's money. That's called money in the bank. And again, guys, if I don't get a chance to answer your question, I apologize. It's a lot of traders here. It's definitely not intentional. Anyway, there you go, Rick. And then again, if you guys got exercise up at 15, you probably wouldn't cry about it, but it's February, so those probably expire worthless anyway. And since you have July, you could probably buy some more. Okay, so back over to Intel. You've got to like these candles so far. We still haven't hit the 10 EMA on the 5-minute chart. If this 10 gets above our stop market sell order at 49.13 before the market hits that, should be nice. Rick, I just put the chat in the chat pane. I'll send it to you right now. Here you go, brother. Dude, anything for you. Joe says, should I buy back my April AMD 13 call? Joe, nah, you could do the exact same trade if you want to, Joe. Do the exact same one. If you want to protect yourself over earnings. OLED. So I forget OLED. This has been asked about numerous times this week. And I kept mentioning to wait until it comes down to the 100 to buy it. So if you're looking at trading OLED bullish and you want to go long here, this would be the spot. Yes. This will be it. It finally got down there. That's one that we looked at a lot this week. PTLA, again, we looked at this one the last few times. Tommy was setting it up. Looks good as a bullish non-directional trade. Winnebago Industries, if it keeps going sideways, says Mr. Falco. I think it's a trap, dude. I think it's a trap. This candle is too bullish. Too much bullish volume. It could make it to the VWAP, but it just depends on where you got your stop. Like if you got your stop right there, I think you get wicked out. I don't know. That's just me. I think there's a trap setting. It's a trap. So I'm just going to keep waiting. I'll keep on the list just in case. Twitter, TWTR, up 5%. So Twitter, I was hoping it would trade. This is what I wanted it to do. Obviously did not do that. So Twitter, trading down, bouncing. Steven says, please explain the VWAP. Steven, VWAP is volume weighted average price. Is what it stands for. So it is the average price of the stock per how many shares have been bought or sold at different prices per volume. So if you have 1,000 shares bought at $10 and 100 shares bought at $11, your average price is much, much closer to 10 rather than 10.50. Does that make sense? And that's really it, honestly. It's just the average price for the shares that are purchased. And so there's a lot of ways you can trade that. Just like anything else, there's a million different strategies you can use. VWAP is for free, Richard. It's just a simple indicator that you can add. So yeah, there's an indicator for it. Yep. Let me see what you guys are talking about in Slack over here. BBBY. BBBY. Ooh. Okay. 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 I see what you guys are doing. I don't know if I want to take that trade because I feel like Intel did so well. I don't want to give any back. Oh boy, it is tough to only take one trade a day. Real tough. Looks nice at 21.61. Agreed. David Morgan. Meet David Barron for Team David. Steve says, I'm basically break even today. How so, Steve? Give me more info. What happened? David says, hi, all. What's going on, buddy? I think everything else is good. Okay, perfect. Oh, Travis made it. Travis. Welcome, buddy. I know Travis wants to be a part of this. I'm just going to go ahead and message him. All right. So back over to Intel. This is huge, guys. The 10 EMA on the regular hours is above our stop. That's big. Big deal. Oh man, should I get out at 2 hours? Should I try it for more? Oh boy. Efren says, do you ever use Stock Market Watch for pre-market? Sometimes, yeah. Gregory says, getting greedy. No, not getting greedy. I don't think anyone here is greedy. Just letting my winners run. I don't think anyone here is greedy. We haven't even hit the 10 EMA on the 5-minute chart yet. Steve says, ABBV looking good to re-enter. Should you take your 3 Rs? How are you break even if you made 3 Rs? Did you lose 3 Rs on something? Oh, gotcha. Get out at 2 Rs, says Brian. I think I did mention it a few times. I was going to exit all at 2 R. This is tough because we haven't even hit the 10 on the daily yet. Let me go look at the daily chart. This is like an average size candle. Alex, yes, Brad did mention that because that is usually correct. I won't trail. I will just increase the stop. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip a coin. It's much easier that way. I'm going to ask Siri to flip a coin for me. Heads, I move it up just a little bit. Tails, I exit all at 2 R. Siri, flip a coin.
It's tails.
It's tails. All right, I got to get out at 2 R then. Okay, cool. Well, my order's still in. 49.91. Again, if it hits 2 Rs, guys, you guys made the deal. Go in and just sign up. There's no reason not to at this point. If you can learn how to do this for $169, are you kidding me? Where would I have gone? I would probably honestly have raised it to 50 and some change. 50 is going to be a big number for it to break through. Very big number. So if it breaks through 50, that's megalithic. But we haven't even hit the 10. on the 5-minute chart yet. That is massive. Karanga says, what's the ticker for the low carbon ETF? I have no idea. It's a good question, though. Camilo says, already paid for my first month. There you go. Richard posted it. Richard, for swing, Jeremy, look at the low carbon ETF definition of a perfect uptrend. What is that ticker, Richard? I don't know what that ticker is. Kevin Toops in the building. Uh-oh. Toops is in the house. What's up, buddy? In a bit, man. I missed you. Chris King is here. Kyle. Leonardo. Chiefs has already paid for half the year. Already paid for the year. Nice. There we go. Kevin Stone says, what a name like Kevin. He has to be a great guy. Can't deny that. That's just logic. Lucy's in the building. Luke. And so again, folks, just as a reiteration, I'm always going to do my absolute best for looking at all of your questions and trading. But even on a slower day, there'll still be things that kind of go by, you know. So my goal is just to direct you into the goodness. Don says, why is yours higher? Why is my 10 EMA? Yours might be the 10 simple, Don. I'm not entirely sure. 49.40, maybe have extended hours turned on. Yes, you have the extended hours turned on, Don. So this is the extended hours, and this is the non-extended hours. Yep, great question. Oh, WGO is also a 5-cent increment stock? Ah, then I definitely think it's a trap. I don't know. That one's going to be tough. Asha says, JD, did we already talk about this? We did. We talked about this one yesterday and the day before. Yeah, I said do some spreads below 42 or lower. Looked good. If you're not in those, wait for the retest. Steve, I got my trade, man. All I need is one. That's all I need, brother. Stephen King says, can you review how you got the entry price on Intel? Thanks. Yeah, man. Just simply that high wave 5-minute candle. You know me, my favorite candle. That was it. High wave 5-minute candle, entry above, stop below. And I recorded all of today's session so far. It's actually still recording. So you guys get to rewatch this whole thing if you want. Okay, so Bed Bath & Beyond kind of popped a little bit right there. Amit says I'm day trading JD at 49. Oh, nice. WGO. Starbucks is trading sideways. JD's doing its thing. Amazon, powerhouse. Colgate. I'm waiting on Colgate. Very blue chip stock. Bob was going to 300 this year. OLED bounced off the 100 very nicely. GILD is a Miley Cyrus wrecking ball. BSPM, there's the pullback on BSPM. Honestly, BioStar, I know this sounds crazy, but even if you threw a few shares on this one probably gaps up tomorrow. LFMAO, not doing much. That's probably my new favorite ticker, if we're being honest. VMW, not really doing that much. EGHT is working on retesting, and ABBV. Again, this is a good trade, guys. Congrats, gentlemen, for anyone who played it. I'm not in, but it's definitely a nice retest cap. Marsha says, this is the 5th trading room chat I've previewed. This is the only one I've signed up for. It made a difference in my trading from the first meeting on the internet. What? Thanks, Marsha. That makes me smile. I appreciate that, truly. It makes me real happy. Very kind words. Jose Sierra says, I did the retest on Intel, made my first R. Thanks, guys. Hey, you're welcome, man. You're very welcome. I mean, this honestly it couldn't have worked out any better for today. Is it luck or is it skill? I mean, it's a little bit of combination of both. I would love to tell you guys that we do this every day. But, you know, it's like playing poker. You can be really good at poker, but sometimes when that river card comes out and you need the king, but for some random reason the 2 comes out and the guy flops a set, you know, what are you going to do? Marta says, for day trading with options, do you use the closest expiration or the next one? The closest when I'm day trading. Yep. Okay. Again, I'm trying to determine exactly what's going to happen. Marta says, even if it expires today? Yep. Even if it expires today. It's all about risk when it comes down to options, just how much you lose. RM says, on that note, what kind of annual drawdowns have you experienced with your current plan? Annual drawdowns? None. I don't do annual drawdowns, dude. That doesn't happen. Annual drawdowns? Who would do that? That's terrible. Never had a bad year. No, that is not the case. RM, I was the worst trader in the world 7 years ago. Like, I was deplorable. There was no one worse than I was. If you think you were bad as a trader, you didn't meet me back when I was 21. Whew. Real bad. I lost all the monies. Joe says, I lost 40,000. I did that in a day, Joe. I lost 40,000 in about 2 hours. Richard says, last year? No, 2010. 2009, 2010. You guys haven't heard my story? All right, let me do this. How about we do this? Let me celebrate Intel if it hits this target, and then we will. I'll tell the story. Does that sound good? Let me do this. I'm gonna move up our stop at this point, and I'm gonna put it right here, 49.34. Increase stop on Intel to 49.34. We should be hitting our 2R soon. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. We already got 2 trading partners in the building, Sue and Chief. This is going to be fun. I'm excited about this. Is it Jamie or is it Chief? C-H-E-C-H-I. There we go. Okay, so we should hit the target in a second. Once to do that, I will do the target. I'm not going to take any other trade, guys, if we hit 2 Rs on Intel. If we hit Intel, I'm done for the day. I'm just letting you all know. I'm going to take my 2 Rs and lock it in. Brad's already hit it, so he had a little bit of a different target than I did, which is totally fine. I have my stop below the 10. I would be a little dismayed if I have to wait for it to all the way retest and then bounce, but it should be all right. We can even watch it on the 1 minute if you guys want. It's stressing me out at this point because it's like, am I tripping over a $100 bill to pick up a dime? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, but we'll see. So yeah, might have had a little bit of a different trade than me, which is totally okay. But at this point, we can't lose on the trade, so I'm totally fine. Richard says, you're only 28? Yes, sir. Well, 29. I'll be 30 in May. Richard says, I'll join you, just to encourage you to keep going on and on and on. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, I'm only 29 years old, guys. I'm 20. I don't have the webcam on. I thought I had the webcam on this whole time. Shoot. Well, hide the kids. If you got any kids in the room, if you got any cats, I don't want anyone to get scared. WGO. Yeah, I guess I'm just chicken, Robert. Sorry, dude. I don't know why I'm being so scared. There's the VWAP. Did you get filled on that? Would be a 5-cent ticker? Had a 10-cent spread? Your order got rejected. Shoot. Sorry, man. I figured that might happen. Dang it. That stinks. Well, hey, good analysis. Next time something like that happens, you'll be ready. DJ says Jeremy is old. That's right. That's right. So again, here's the retest, which again, I'm trying to figure out if I'm tripping over $400 to pick up $6, but Jose, I'll talk about that as well. I'll tell you guys the whole story. I'll just record it and fill you guys in on everything. I talked a little bit about that in the 3rd hour of Mentorship Monday, but I'll cover it again, and then I'll just go to lunch. Does that sound good? We've been trading an hour, 2 hours together. 2 hours have already passed by. Ricky says, just to recap, I sold February 15 calls for 15 and bought 10.50 puts for 11 on AMD. Killer. Killer, bro. Cheers. That's what's happening when we come to Nashville, when we hit the club. James has no orange tux. That's a whole other story, man. Whole other story. I'll sum it up, James, with a mad lady was involved. That's all you need to know. She was upset, and bye-bye. All right. So this is the 1-minute chart. Again, since I'm about to go into the story of what I did and all that kind of good stuff. What time is it? 10:08. So I got to wait 2 more minutes to move up to stop. I'll probably put it right there. This trade, I really do think will go higher, though. But Siri told me to get out at 2R. I asked her. She said just exit everything. I wish she would tell me that. So I know I'm going a little bit on the slow side today, but does anyone else have any questions right now? Starbucks is trading very sideways. Iris says flip again. What does flip again? What does that mean? Kimilo says, how much higher do you think it'll go? Mid-50s today, probably 50, 30. Oh, flip the coin, reflip the coin. I hear you, man. I hear that. Baba is a train, folks. Baba is a train. GILD is retesting. BSPM. Robert says, what did you see for Twitter? I didn't do anything on Twitter today, but this is a good move, man. I mean, it is cranking it out. I really wanted it to come all the way back down to 1950, but it just never quite got there, obviously. So I miss Tesla, or Twitter, sorry. Done. Intel. All right, folks, go do your part. I did mine. Go sign up. Boom. Mic drop. Almost right at 11 R's this week. 11. Woo! Jim says, would you let OLED go for a swing? Yes, I would go in for a swing. Keep it, Jim. I like it off to 100. Oh, man. My hands are shaking a little bit, guys. That was fun. Boy. Hey, James Arndt, I asked you a question in Slack, and I don't know if you found it or if you sent it back and I missed it. Are you related to Bernie Arndt at all, who lives in High Springs, Florida? Arndt's just a very, oh, I was saying, not the most common name in the world, so I just figured I would ask. Not that you know. Okay, cool. 49.91 to the penny. Oh, typed in something wrong. Hold on, sorry. 48.67, 49.91, 328. All right. Fantastic job, folks. Luke says, thanks, a little bit of adrenaline. Yeah, that got the heart pumping. Congratulations, folks. That was fun. And I recorded the whole thing. So you should be able to have a pretty good idea of why I took this trade just based on the gap and the location. You're welcome to print this out. Print this out and take a picture of this gap. This is the very similar gap that I talked about in the Wealth 365 Summit, and also it's on my website, right? The 3 secrets to candles. Did you guys notice that? This is a wicked pair candle, or at least very close to it, and it gapped above both highs of the wicked pair. It's a very strong move, and it's a gap and go right above resistance. Plus, it's the stock that I'm already bullish on for the year. That is what it is. So let me guys just tell you my story really quick, only because you asked. Okay, this is not a marketing thing. That's not what I'm about right now. On that note, though, I did my part of the deal. I said if it hits 2 R's, you guys got to sign up. Go sign up right now if you haven't already. Here's the link. It's right here. It's on the front page of the Real Life Trading website, reallifetrading.com. Get in. Just do it for a few months, guys. Come on. It's easy. It's 169 bucks. I will send out an email later today. Yep. With links and everything, but Donald says, I'm going to sign up again. Come on. 169, guys, this is easy. Easy. If you break down to how many hours, do you guys realize what you're paying me per hour? $3 an hour. Now, obviously, it's a mass scale, right? But it's $3 an hour. If you want to do it for the whole year, go for it. 1,600. I almost made that today. Bob just bought. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Derek says, Lena says hello. What's up, girl? Chris says, I'm Canadian, so that's like $1 million a month. Do you live in the Zimbabwe part of Canada, Chris? Is that what's happening? Oh, it's funny. Okay, so Iris says, my R is really small, but I made 4.5 of them on Intel. Hey, man, that's fantastic. Again, don't worry about the size of the risk. What's important is just simply, can you follow a plan, right? Can you follow your rules? You'll get there. You'll absolutely get there. It's totally, totally fine, folks. Absolutely okay. So let me kind of give you the story. Derek, email me, and I'll hit you up with the shirts. I'm done day trading for the day. So if you guys want to stick around, you're sticking around purely for entertainment or questions being answered. I'm not going to take any other trades. I'm done. This was one of the best weeks I've had in my life, and it's because of you. So here's the story. I was 19, and I was working at Nationwide Insurance. You guys know what Nationwide Insurance is, right? For those who live in the U.S. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Nationwide is on your side. So I started in the call center, answering phone calls. So if someone would get in an accident, I was the guy they called, right? 1-800-Nationwide. Thank you for calling Nationwide. This is Jeremy. How can I assist you today? And I did that for hours every day. It was my first big boy job. I got it when I turned 18, and they had a 401k. I was adding to my 401k. I didn't really know what a 401k is. And I started asking people around me about what my 401k is and how that works. And remember, you guys know from my beginning class, I've always been interested in the stock market. I went to the University of Florida for a finance degree, and I thought that a finance degree meant they would teach you what the stock market was. So that didn't happen. I changed my degree to business management and just went out and got a job. So I worked my way through school. I worked full-time. I went to school full-time, 15 credit hours a semester, and worked full-time, 60 hours a week. So in doing all that, I came across a gentleman by the name of Robin Gwynn, who was a supervisor still in Nationwide Insurance. Shout out to Rob if you're watching this. I love you. And I sat down one day and Rob had a stock chart up. And I was sitting down because I was asking him some kind of question, I don't remember. And he had a stock chart up, and I was like, oh, cool, what's the stock chart? Which chart are you looking at? And he was looking at the Qs. At the time, type in a 3 if you remember this. The Qs used to actually have 4 of them. This was about 4 to 5 years ago. They had 4 Qs. So it was QQQQ was the ETF that tracked the NASDAQ. Now it's just 3 Qs. So anyway, he said, oh, it's the QQQ. I was like, what is that? And he was like, that's the, it's a stock that tracks the NASDAQ. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I was like, I love the stock market. I haven't really traded that much before, but, you know, and I told him that I had some money when I was 18. I put some money into Scott Trade. This was in 2008, right at the beginning of 2008. And I was diversifying $1,800. Because I heard, you know, diversify your portfolio. So I had $1,800 split over like 2 shares of ExxonMobil. I think I had a share of CVS, 4 or 5 penny stocks, just garbage. I didn't know anything. So I was asking him the questions about the stock chart. And he's like, yeah, well, he goes, Jeremy, I'm going to tell you a secret. I make more money every month in the stock market than I do all year working here. And I was like, are you kidding me? He was like, no. I make more money trading the stock market every month than I do all year working here. I was like, why the hell are you still working here, dude? He's like, I like it. Trading's easy. He's like, stock market just eventually ends up going higher over time, and I like the health insurance. I need to get out the house, and you know, it's not that hard of work. He was a supervisor for a phone team, so it's not that strenuous. He's probably making $60 a year. So I was like, dude, you got to teach me this, man. I went to college and I wanted to learn all about the markets. I told him my story, and he said, all you need to do is learn this one strategy. And he goes, you'll make a lot of money trading the market. You guys remember what strategy he told me? What was the very first strategy that I ever traded? You guys remember this? First strategy ever, covered calls. First strategy I ever used was covered calls. Brian said, if I sign up, it won't automatically renew every month. Will it? It will automatically renew. Yes. It will automatically renew every month. So you don't have to do anything. I got it for you. So the first strategy I ever did was covered calls. That was it. So type in a 2 if you guys have no idea what covered calls are. You have no clue. For those typing in a 2, I will send you a video. Then I will still explain it. But I will send you a video because it's a very cool strategy. It does require a decent size account. What are covered calls in real life? Okay, so here's the video. It's a whole hour long. Okay, of course, what is a decent size account? Honestly, man, for covered calls, you can do it with a very small account. You just need money. I would say at least $3 grand. Honestly, you have to have at least $3 grand to do covered calls. You're buying 100, 200 shares of a cheaper stock, but you need at least $3 grand. A decent size account is anything over 25,000. A large account, you should never have to work a day in your life for anyone else if you have more than 100,000. That's my rule. I had a good banker friend once tell me, if you have $100,000 net, like cash, is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. Once you get that 100,000, you're free. That's like your marker. That's your benchmark. Because with 100,000, if you're just decent as a trader, you should be able to make 3,000 to 4,000 a month. 3,000 to 4,000 a month off of that, which is pretty much what the average person trades. Joe says, with what R? 500 to 1,000 is your R with a $100,000 account. Yeah. So anyway, covered calls. At the time, I think I had $2,700 in my IRA, or I'm sorry, my 401k. So I couldn't do it there. Rob was telling me about covered calls. I'll explain to you what a covered call is. So let's say on the Qs, let's say I bought 100 shares of the Qs right here, and that would cost me, if I bought 100 shares, because you have to have 100 shares to do a covered call. If I bought it at 156, that would cost me $15,600. You guys follow me so far? 100 shares, you buy at $15,600. That's all you do. That's it. And then you turn around and then you sell a covered call higher. So let's say you sell that covered call higher at 158. So when you sell a covered call, what you're doing is you're selling the right to somebody else to buy your shares from you at 158. So if you did that, obviously you would have gotten called away for a profit, but you would have made on that trade $2 per share of profit plus the covered call premium. Covered call premium, which is about, let's just say it was $1. So you made $3, $300 on that trade. With 100 shares, you make $300 in the course of a month. Not bad, right? Not bad. $300. That's a car payment. And then again, you can turn around, buy another 100 shares of the Qs right now, do the exact same thing, just sell another call higher, and just keep doing that until you get called away. So think about a covered call like you own 2 houses. You're going to live in one house. What are you doing with the second house? You're going to rent it out, right? Corey says, how much do you lose if the trade goes the other way? So that's the thing, Corey. When you do covered calls, you do it on a stock that you want to hold forever, or at least for a long time. So you just keep owning the stock. Yeah, good question. You just keep owning the stock. So if it goes down, then you just sell another covered call. Right? You just sell another one. So for example, on NVIDIA, let's hop over to NVIDIA, which is higher, by the way. I told you I was going to retest, didn't I, Corey? Told you, man. White candle, gapped up, retested and bounced. Told you, bro. But let's say that you were doing NVIDIA and you did a covered call. Let's say you bought some shares here and you did a covered call there as an example. Right? And best case scenario, let's say maybe you got called away, right? Your shares got called away from you. So you were net, you were out of the trade. When the stock comes back down, you buy the stock again. Turn around, sell some covered calls again. So it's a strategy where all you're doing is buying stock, and then you get paid to sell at a target. You get paid to sell higher than where you are. Here's a statement that I think only a few people are brave enough to say, but I'll say it. Covered calls add 0 additional risk to the trade. They do limit your upside, but they do not add any additional risk than the risk you already have. So covered calls can be done in any type of account. IRA, 401k, RRSP, they can be done anywhere. They don't add any additional risk. So for example, I did it over here on Apple. So here's Apple, and I did a February $200 covered call. Got 25 cents. So let's say that I owned 1,000 shares of Apple. 25 cents times 1,000 shares, 0.25 times 1,000 equals $250. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a car payment. That's a free car payment. Cash right into your account. You're going to get that 250 regardless of what Apple does. Apple goes up, Apple goes down, Apple goes sideways. That 250 bucks is yours. So that's the covered call. I explained the whole thing in the hour-and-a-half video. I take my time. Feel free to go check it out. John says, and $171,206 investment. If I bought it right now, John, that is correct. If I bought it right now. But I've been in Apple for a bit. Ian says, are these weekly or monthly covered calls? It depends. But again, guys, so as far as the strategy is concerned, watch that video. It's free, okay? It'll save you thousands. So anyway, what I did is I learned how to do the covered call. So while I was working, I tried to figure out, it took me about 4 to 5 months of figuring out how to do a self-directed 401k. So that took me some time to figure that out. I was slow, but I could do a self-directed 401k. At the time, my 401k was managed through Charles Schwab. So Charles Schwab was the fund admin for the 401ks at Nationwide Insurance. So I was able to figure out how to do a self-directed 401k. And at the time, this was about another 4 to 5 months later, I think I had like $3,000 in the account. And the first stock I traded, actually traded, not just bought. Do you guys remember? Who remembers the first stock I ever traded? If you don't, it's okay. I'm about to tell you, but first one ever. Wasn't Apple because I couldn't afford it in my 401k. It was First Majestic Silver, ticker symbol AG. So it was a silver stock. First Majestic Silver. Ticker symbol AG. So give me a moment. This is not the one I bought at an all-time high. No, that was actually silver. I did that later. So why did I choose First Majestic Silver? Honestly, you guys want to be really, you want me to tell you why I bought First Majestic Silver? The only reason I bought First Majestic Silver was because I went to Yahoo Finance and I typed in cheap silver stocks. That was it. I literally Googled cheap silver stocks, and this was like the first one that pulled up, and then I bought it. So here's what I did back in, this is 2000, early 2011. Casey says, why don't you have a Roth IRA? No taxes later. I do have a Roth, Catherine. This was years ago. I'm just telling my story of, I was 19 or whatever. So I didn't know anything about Roth. I didn't know anything about Roth IRAs at the time. So AG, First Majestic Silver, I had, I think, 2,700 or something in my account. So I bought, give or take, around here on AG. Let me just practice this really quick. Let's see, 2,300 divided by $14 per share equals 164 shares. So I could buy 164 shares. Now, what's important to know, give me 1 second. 164 shares is what I bought. What's important to know is when people say don't put all of your eggs in one basket, that means if your eggs break, you have no more food. If you're trading with 2,300 bucks and you lose all of that money, fingers crossed, that's not all the money that you have in the world. Meaning you have a job or you have some other form of income, you can eat food, right? You're not despondent out on the streets. Because sometimes you got to roll some dice. So bottom line is, when I had 2,300 bucks, I didn't care about taking all that and putting it into one stock. I didn't care. It's $2,300. I was like, all right, whatever. So what I did is I bought a $14 covered call on ticker symbol AG. This is the actual timing of it, by the way. I'm showing you like a legit chart. And I sold a 16, I don't remember the exact numbers, you guys have to forgive me. I sold a covered call higher than that. I don't want to do the exact strike. I don't know exactly how far it was, but I know I got called away. It was probably a 17.5 March covered call. Let me redraw that one again. Steve, square, higher. All right, so 1750. That was a covered call that I sold for March. So I sold it 3 or 4 weeks out. And what happened is, so I bought 164 shares. I did a covered call. The covered call premium was nothing. I think at the time it was like 30 cents. So 100 shares times 30 cents equals 300 extra, 30 extra bucks minus commissions. But I bought at 14, and as you can see, a few days, a month or so later, AG went berserk, and I got called away. So it went from 14 to 1750, and I had bought 100 shares. That's $350 of profit plus my $30 covered call premium equals 380. Let's just say minus commissions of whatever they were. Let's just say 20 for even numbers. So I had $360 net gain in less than a month. And that's on a $2,300 account, not including the other 64 shares that I still had. Dave asked me to turn the light off. So not including the other 64 shares. So think about that, guys. 300 bucks. Ashley said, how far do you sell the covered call out? I sold a March, which was the very next month, just a front month, one strike price, out of the money. One strike price, out of the money. So what happened is I made 300 bucks. Guys, that was like half my rent at the time. And my rent was like $650. I was living in Fox Ridge. On a small account, $2,300. Is that awesome or is that awesome? It's pretty cool. It's not bad. So I did it again. I took the same amount of money, bought the same exact stock again, turned right around, sold another strike price out of the money for the next month, which I think was 20 bucks, got called away, made money again, another 300 bucks. Did it again the next month, bought around here somewhere, and I started repeating this 3 or 4 times. And over the course of about 4 to 5 months, I grew my really small 401k, self-directed 401k, from like 2,300 to like 5,000 and some change. Not bad. I showed Rob, the guy who taught me about the covered call. He was ecstatic. He thought that was really cool. And then what I think, I was like, I'm the genius. I am the smartest guy in the world. So here's the thing. Let me answer RM's question. He says, I'm assuming you guys auto charge the same credit card each month until I cancel my membership. That is correct. He says, can I do that via email or the phone? You can do that via phone if you prefer. You can do that email. If you email Ashley at reallifetraining.com, or you can sign up on the website by using this link right here. However you prefer. But if you want to do a phone call, just schedule it with Ashley and she'll do your best she can to help you. So let me give you guys a really weird mentality about money for a second. This is the part that most people struggle with. They think money is the hardest part about trading. Money is the easiest part about trading. I'm gonna give you guys an example. Type in a 2 if you have kids. Type in, if you don't have kids, type in a 1 if you have someone in your life or something in your life that you care dearly about. Unquestionable, unfathomable love. All right, if you don't have a kid, maybe it's an animal, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a brother, sister, cousin, niece, nephew, whatever. So what if I were to say to you, how much money do you have in your entire life? How much money do you have all absolute full in. This is how much I got, and you have a number. Let's call it 50,000. That's all you can scrape together. That's it. That's everything. That's the whole kit and caboodle. That's tax tag title out the door. That's all the money you got in the world. And I said to you, the person in your life that you love the most, your kid, your mom, your brother, sister, grandpa, granddad, dog, cat, parrot, they're going to die unless you can pay for this surgery, and that surgery is going to cost $100,000. Could you find that 100,000? Would you find a way to make that happen? Yes or no? And the answer is yes. Of course you would. Right? You would find a way. No problem. You'll figure it out. You'll do whatever you need to do. So the thing is, when someone is 100% confident in something, no questions asked, this is how it's going to be, you'll find a way to make it happen. Money is the exact same way. If you ain't got the money to trade, you can find the money. Trust me. If you feel 100% confident in your abilities, money is everywhere. Just got to go find it. It's never our resources that are the problem. It's how resourceful are you. I think that's a Tony Robbins quote. So, for example, if you don't have the money to buy a house in cash, what do? Go to the bank. If you don't have the money to buy a car in cash, what do? Go to a bank, right? You go out and find money. Money's everywhere. So the point I'm getting at is, at this point, I was 100% confident in my skills. What did I do? You guys guess. I was a 20-year-old, still in college, working a full-time job with a decent pay. I asked mommy and daddy. I asked mommy and daddy. Daddy. So I'm the youngest of 6. I'm the baby of the family. You guys couldn't tell. I sink the most attention, I get the most love, right? Gronga says that explains a lot. It does, I think. I'm the baby. So I asked my dad, is that Red Bull? No, that's just water, man. I don't drink Red Bull. I asked my pops, I was like, hey, Dad, so he was almost about to retire, like weeks away. I was like, hey, Dad, so remember that trade I gave you on Apple? So you guys remember the whole Apple story, right? You guys all know that. Bought shares of Apple, blah, 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 blah. So this is 10 years later. Remember that trade on Apple? Dad, this is how confident I am in silver. I know silver's about to go on a strong run. Let me borrow some money to trade with. And I'm going to do covered call strategies, and we're going to do really well. That was pretty much my sales pitch. And my dad trusted me all the way. And he said, all right, son, I have $168,000 in retirement. Let me take out $68,000 and some change for me, and you can have the rest. So he gave me $101,316 is what it came out to. That's the exact amount of money that he gave me. Now, when I say he gave it to me, so he was retired. So he was 68 at the time. Yep, 68. Just retired from a pharmaceutical company called Boehringer Ingelheim. You guys ever heard of that? It's a family-owned pharmaceutical practice. He was a pharmaceutical salesman. And sorry, I get emotional. So he wrote me the check and just gave it to me. So I deposited in my check. I deposited in my account, transferred it to another Charles Schwab account and traded it. And for the next 3 months, we did really well. I did the exact same strategy. I knew the strategy very well. I knew the stock. I traded AG. Same exact thing. I didn't change one thing. For the next 3 months, this was about July-ish. This was in this time frame, right around here. I'm pretty certain. I'll go check on it in a second. But right around there, I did the exact same type of trading, and I turned $100,000 in 3 months into $136,000 and some change. Made 30 grand in 3 months. This guy says Wade Cook was big around that time with covered calls. Yes, he's the one that taught Robin Gwynn what he knew. So I did well for the first 3 months. Now, I didn't know anything about charting. I didn't know anything about support and resistance, really. I didn't know anything about candlesticks. I didn't know anything about building a plan. I didn't know anything about patience, none of that. And I stumbled across some companies as I started researching that told me about options. And this guy talked about how much money you can make in an option trade. And he said you can make 50, 75, 250% ROI on options. And I thought to myself, I just made 36% return on 100 grand. Imagine what I could do with options. Right? And now you guys know the rest of the story. I'm pretty sure you can piece the puzzle together. So if I hop over to silver, I think you guys all know this part of the story. So this was the actual SLV. So not only did I not trade the same stock that I was familiar with in the past, but just weeks after my dad gave me the money, I turned it into 36,000. And then I bought call options, about 16,000 worth right there. Highest it's ever been. Lost all of the 16 grand. And then once that happened, the psychology took over of losing and being afraid and being fearful and revenge trading and being terrified to tell my dad. And then, guys, I just started trading everything. I bought calls on all kinds of crazy stuff. Here's the SPY. So I'm going back a ways. So SPY and the VIX and all that. Keep going back a little bit. I bought stocks. I bought things on things I don't even remember what I bought. But here's where the story gets fun. So I lost some money on silver. So again, this is still 2011, so about 7 years ago. 2011, and I bought silver. So this is where I bought silver. This is the SPY. Lost on that. Traded a few other things. Lost on that, and then I had 16,000 left. 16K. Saw this. I started learning a little bit more about charting at this point. I bought a lot of put options, all of it, $16,000 worth into SPY right there. And I got back to 80,000 right here. 80,000. So I went from 130 down to 100, down to all the way down to 16,000. This was my last $16,000 in the account. I went from 16 to 80 in 5 days. And I finally felt like I got it. And during this time, this little move of the market right here, with the SPY and the VIX, type in a 2 if you traded that part of the market back in 2011. So between the SPY and the VIX, I was buying puts and calls, both in and out. And this is such an amazing story. I turned that 80,000 into $240,000. And I didn't tell my dad any of this. And then right here, November 2011, was Thanksgiving holiday. It's one of the best Thanksgivings I ever had. Beautiful Thanksgiving. We had family everywhere, meals everywhere, tables just filled with food. I was living large. I was telling everyone in the world, guys, I just turned $16,000 into $250,000 in like 3 months. People were throwing their money at me. Everyone wanted to be part of what Newsom was doing. And right there, I thought the market was going to tank. Right? I thought this, and this was going to happen. So I did something that you guys are going to laugh at me for, and it's okay. But you know the story now, don't you? I took all of that, everything that I made, except for a little. I pulled out money. I bought a house. Most of it. I bought some clothes. You know, I spent about 40 grand, but I took 200,000 and I bought put options on the SPY the day before the holiday and held until they all expired worthless. Right up here. Lost it all. So, the moral of the story was you got to start trading with a plan. You got to have risk management. You got to take your profits off the table, and you got to know what you're doing. You got to know the instruments that you're trading. It's a very expensive education. That's exactly what my dad said. So my dad said, hey, son, I didn't have to pay for you to go to school. Let's just call that your college money. Guys, $200,000. What an idiot. So my dad said, you know what, let's just call that your college money. I'm very confident you will get it back. And during 2012, the beginning of 2012 to July, you've never seen a man work as hard as I did. You've never seen a person on this earth work as hard as I did to learn this stuff. I traded 7 hours a day for 7 hours a day for 7 months, every single day. My Sunday, Thursday, your birthday, my birthday, Jesus' birthday. Every single day, traded like just back traded. Took the charts back, started writing out plans. And then from there, I kind of shared the rest of the progression from way back when. Mentorship Monday, the third hour of Mentorship Monday, I started sharing the progression from there. So I started borrowing money to trade with, right? I started borrowing money to trade with. I started going in and getting leverage for day trading. It took me forever to really kind of figure it out. But once I nailed it and fully got it, then it was just a slow grind. And once I really, really learned the whole progression and everything and got my trading plan, got the risk mitigation taken care of, figured everything out, I was finally able to piece all the pieces of the puzzle together through a lot of pain, a lot of blown out accounts, a lot of hours doing this. And so my dad passed away March 2015, which was 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years ago this March. And I still owed him that $100,000. I was able to pay it back to him. And he said, just keep it. Give it to your mom and make sure she's taken care of for the rest of her life. So that's what I do. I pay my mom every single month. most of my money that I make. So you got to battle. You got to do what you know you want to do. If you know what you want in life, you should let absolutely nothing ever stop you, because you get this life. Whatever you believe in, you can believe in future, the past, reincarnation, different lives. That's okay. Believe in whatever you want. I love it. I love it. Believe your beliefs as strong as you possibly can. But what I know for sure is that you are alive and you are conscious right now. Right this second, you are conscious. You are a live human being, and you know that. And you're living this life right now. So make this one count. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out why you want to make money. Figure out why you want to become a better person. Figure out if you are the most profitable trader in the world, what are you doing with that money? What are you doing with the money? What's your mission in life? You have to figure out that part. Because if you don't know that part, I can promise you, money's not the solution. That's why people who are millionaires, like Robin Williams and Chester and the guy from Stone Temple Pilots, that's why people end their lives at some point, because money is not the answer to happiness. It's not the key to happiness, right? You have to know why you are here and what you are doing. So bottom line, thanks, Frank. Appreciate it, man. Bottom line, folks, you've got to know the steps. You got to know where you want to go. You got to know why you want to be there. You got to work really hard at it. So that was my 3 hours. I want to say that we nailed the top of Intel to the penny almost. I thought I was going to go higher, but that was that whole plan following thing. We got out by 4 cents. Richard says relationships are the key to happiness, and for that, you need to be giving nonstop. And that's why we were all here, baby. I love it, Richard. Brad, do you want to take over for lunch, or do you want me to put on a video if you're still here?
Yo, dude, you can kill the recording if you want to.
Okay.
I got a phone call request to talk about how to add lines on TradingView